comedy podcast where we talk about history and our girls.
I always feel like a radio broadcaster when
I love having a little
open it.
canned intro.
a little canned intro. Our voices are also fully different in it, which I've noticed.
Because we're like,
welcome to Girls
we're doing a
Swords.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's character work.
It's character work and it's important. It's really, really, really important to me.
Yeah. How are you doing this week?
I'm good. We're doing our series on the Kennedys, just so you know. We're going to talk
yeah.
shit. I mean, if this is your first episode, crazy.
Crazy what place to jump in.
Third episode of the Kennedys series, like, okay.
But you know what? This is how I jump into podcasts. I'm always
know.
like,
I just
and then I get
picked
mad. I'm like, so this made no fucking sense.
It's like, yeah, girl, you're coming in on episode 16.
Yeah, I'm going in on like a mini-sode between big episodes. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why doesn't this make any sense?
Exactly.
Who are these people?
Yes.
Or like, you know how like you listen to one of those like lifestyle podcasts and they'll just be like, so you know the person I've been dating? I'm always like, no. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Rude.
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I am a little sleepy.
Well, yeah, we had your birthday moment happening.
I know I did
this
too much for my
weekend.
birthday as usual.
Yeah, you really it was basically like a 5-day kind of bender for you. And not in like a
Yeah.
scary way, just like you had events. An event bender.
Yes, it was an event bender. And also like there were a couple of events that I didn't really think were birthday events that just kind of turned into birthday events.
Love.
But you know what? It's great. I felt very loved by my friends. People really showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in showing up for birthdays.
Yeah, me too.
And so I had a great time. I'm just a little spent,
Yeah, depleted.
little depleted, but I slept like the dead last night.
I'm jealous.
Like, you know, when you just like,
I know.
it's like you pass away, go to heaven, and then God says,
love
nope,
that.
you're not done.
I love that.
And yeah, that was
There's
like how
literally
slept
nothing
last
I
night.
love more than sleeping
Yeah.
almost as if I have died.
Yeah. My cat also like woke up to my cat just staring me down.
Scary.
Yeah.
What does she see that you don't know?
I don't know. I feel like she sees ghosts or I've done something to upset. I've always done something to upset her.
She's
I
sensitive.
never know what it is. I'm always like doing something, like touching a door too loudly.
Yeah. Well, that's fucked up. Well, that's not
And it's
okay. You can't
disgusting
do
and
that.
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of it. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm tired too. I mean, the weather's been really shit here, guys.
It really was awful.
We had beautiful, beautiful summer weather.
Stunning.
And then
Just
this last
stunning.
week and a half, something is fucked up with the jet stream. And it's the coldest winter. It's the coldest May in Toronto since 1967.
What?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
So it's been like it's 49 today Fahrenheit.
That's awful.
What is it? That's like kind of
like
that's
10
like
degrees.
10-ish.
Yeah,
in
usually
Celsius.
it's like functionally summer right now, and like it is.
Yeah, and it's
fall
cold.
weather.
It's cold as fuck, and I'm pissed about it because like we don't get a lot of warm weather anyway, so we really have to like
Capitalize.
And the fact that it's gonna be June in
And
like
it's
a
kind of
week,
chilly.
and it's fucking cold. Like I'm
know.
wearing jeans and a jacket out.
Me too. It's
hate
so
it.
sad. I thought I'd be wearing shorts by now.
Yeah.
I like bought shorts in anticipation of wearing shorts.
Here, I want to see when it's getting better.
Now I'm like looking at pants. But it stayed really sunny for my birthday, which was amazing. I felt very blessed. I was like, am I religious? Maybe.
When is it gonna get warmer?
Never.
I just want to know when is it gonna get. I'm looking this up. This is like a shout into the void.
When is it gonna get warmer?
Like guys,
Guys, when's it gonna get warmer? I feel like something's gotta give soon.
but maybe not.
Is it looking bad?
Okay, this is the CBC article. Let's go down.
Terrifying.
Who's writing weather for CBC?
I would love to be the weather, not the weather person, but like just like the person who writes articles about the weather.
Yeah.
I'm doing the artist way, and part of it you have to list like different lives you could have lived.
Yes.
And it says like write down 5, which is easy for me, easy peasy. You know,
course,
like
yeah.
musician, historian, author,
Mother.
shut up, archaeologist.
Yeah.
And then the next week they're like, jokes on you, write 5 more.
Yeah.
And I was racking my brain, and the first thing I came up with, I was like, well, meteorologist.
Well, that's such a good job.
So like Daisy Edgar Jones and Twisters.
Twisters. I loved Twisters.
And you know what's fucked about Twisters? Because I did love it.
Yeah.
They do not call them Twisters once. They call them tornadoes.
Yeah, but we just know that they're called
Storm
Twisters.
chasers. Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, you couldn't have thrown in a moment where it's like big zoom in on a Glenn Powell and he goes, that's a big twister.
That's what we need. I think it should be by law. Every single movie should have to say the title of the movie in dialogue once.
I think so.
Yeah.
And if not, you don't get to say it as a title.
Yeah, it's not, then it's untitled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to pick something. Sinners was good for that. Sinners said sinners.
When?
couple of times.
Okay, I believe you.
But they sin. They said sin.
They do sin. Okay, this is saying Torontonians will see some improvement this weekend, but temperature does not warm up until Monday. Okay.
Well, I'm off on Monday. Woo!
This better be true. CBC, I will kill myself if the weather doesn't get better. So somebody fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel, right? I feel like I'm always just kind of like meh because when the weather is iffy, you know? Like I'm fine. I'm just working, writing.
We're very weather affected people, I fear.
I think everyone is. I think we live in a place like we kind of forget, and obviously people who live in more extreme weather places than us, like Toronto.
If you live in Tornado Valley,
exactly,
perhaps.
They're like, well, even if somebody like people who live like even like 5 miles more north of Toronto are like, it's not cold, but like it is cold comparatively to like the rest of the fucking world.
Yeah, why are you lying? Like, sorry, it's your fault that you live in Sudbury.
That's a choice.
It's a choice. You chose that, or your parents chose that.
Yeah, so it's like. But I think we're more affected than most because we do just have like, it feels like 8 months of the year is like kind of gray and fucking cold.
Yes, indeed.
So I feel like we're just very affected by it because like we can feel how affected we are by it. Where it's like people who live in like Southern California.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say I don't want to hear about your weather, but actually they have forest fires and that's very sad.
Yeah, I'm like,
I was actually actually things are not great anywhere.
I've been thinking a lot about Cat's Eye. Which
I want to hear your thoughts about Cat's Eye because I've fallen down that rabbit hole after watching when was Sketchfest?
March?
In March, I watched Popstar Academy, their documentary on Netflix.
This was like what my connection was that I didn't have because I did not realize that they were like a reality show group.
Yeah, it's like a survival show.
Yeah, so I might go back and watch that. But I love Daniela.
Yes, I know this.
I just I think she's the best dancer ever.
She is. It's actually insane.
I actually don't think I've ever seen a better dancer.
Cat's Eye, if you guys don't know, it's a global girl group. They are based in LA with Geffen, which is like the music label that has like Olivia Rodrigo and Ariana Grande, I think. I don't know if Ariana Grande is still with them. Maybe I'm wrong.
David Geffen.
But it's also in collaboration with Hybe, which is the label that BTS was under.
K-pop.
Yeah, Les Seraphim. So they're K-pop. So they're trained with the K-pop methodology, but like a global girl group based in America. They have a documentary kind of like they were a show that's called Popstar Academy on Netflix that's kind of all about the journey of them like training and whatever.
Yeah, and kind of like American Idol.
But it's like behind the scenes of American Idol because they were on a different reality show that's called Dream Academy, and that was the survival show where they were like voted on and competing. Okay. Popstar Academy is like the behind the scenes of Dream Academy.
Okay, cool.
But they did like touch. So that's the context.
Yeah.
So yeah, you like Daniela.
I just feel like
she came out as straight recently.
Terrible.
I know. I was like, girl, think about it. But guys, think before you speak. Think before you speak because your words actually have an impact.
Also, stop shoving your sexuality in my face.
Yeah, it's like
I don't care.
I don't know. Like straight people like.
Love is love.
Love is love, and I don't care what you do. What you do in your bedroom is none of my business. But like, don't talk about being straight around the children. You know?
It's just like you're like children don't need to think about that until they're older.
It's like your only personality trait is being straight.
Being straight. It's like okay, cool. Like now I just know what you're gonna act like because you're putting a little dance on.
Great.
Being straight. Being like, oh my god, I love
Maroon 5.
Maroon 5. Oh my god, I watched Overcompensating, and one of the funniest bits is that the mom, like after the kids move out, adopts all these dogs. She gets a job at the mall and adopts all these dogs. And she names all the dogs after Maroon 5 songs.
That's really funny.
I thought that was really funny.
That is really funny.
Honestly, I liked Overcompensating. But Cat's Eye is crazy to me because I'm always like, what are they doing? They seem like they all hate each other. Which is like
yeah, but they've come back around now. I think they all like each other, but I think that they did beef a lot behind the scenes.
Because I'm just like sometimes I see them and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Well, if you watch Popstar Academy, it's kind of crazy because they do beef a lot. What's crazy is a lot of the girls that make the final group are scouted, so they come in at like the last 2 or 3 episodes of the thing.
That's funny.
So you're watching this whole documentary, of these girls training, only for them to get immediately eliminated. It's really sad. Like these girls, like a lot of these girls, it's like their dreams are just crushed, and it's really sad because you're kind of like there are just people who the opportunity comes to them at the right time and they have like it. I don't think having it is like something that's like entirely innate, but like this opportunity has obviously come to them when they're like ready for it. Yeah. So then you're just like, well, they're gonna like those are the ones that are probably gonna be in it.
Who got scouted?
Manon got scouted from social media. Laura got scouted from social media. Yeah, I think that's it. Daniela auditioned. Megan auditioned from the start, and so did. Oh, what's her name? She's the leader of the group. People are gonna get so mad at me. I don't know why I've forgotten her name. What's her name?
I'm
they
the
all
wrong
have like
person
white
to ask.
girl names. That's the thing that's like, it's like, you know, it's like there's like an Emma, but there's not.
Yeah, I don't think there's an Emma.
Sophia.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's like, yeah, those three auditioned, and then Yoon Chae, who's from South Korea, was with like a different like training program and then came in.
Okay, cool.
But the one that I always think about is Megan, she's from Honolulu. She talked the other day on a live about how she was beefing with Yoon Chae when they were training.
Yeah.
And Yoon Chae came to America not really speaking a lick of English. And everyone was like, why were you beefing with the girl who can't speak English? How do you beef with the girl who didn't fucking speak any English? Like, what happened?
That's so funny.
Yeah. And then there was beef with Manon and the other girls because Manon came in. And I love her. Like, that's my girl.
I saw a clip of the Manon beef today, which is what kind of started this.
She just like she's so compelling as a person. Like,
she's
you really
beautiful.
just like look at her and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch. Like, she's truly like like a fairy beautiful.
Yeah. And
she came in kind of scouted and didn't like show up to rehearsal all the time or kind of did her own thing. She was also a bit older, and I think that this is a thing is as you get older, you kind of realize how like exploitative a system like that is, and you're like, well, I don't want to show up.
It's harder to fall for it,
you know. So, and I think a lot of people who really bought into the idea of this system working were mad that she wasn't, in quotations, like working as hard as them. And then she was doing really well in voting and doing really well. Like, I think because she was also scouted, like she kind of knew that she'd probably make the group.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's more just because they didn't tell all the girls it was a survival show until like halfway through. They just thought it was training, and then they would like they would be graded by like experts, but then it became a survival show.
Oh my God.
And I think because of that, like they didn't, like a lot of them beefed with Manon because like, it's just like they were pissed that like the playing field they thought that they were on that would reward their hard work, they were exploited.
Just
so
didn't.
Then you have to be mad at someone, and you're like, well, this is somebody who like didn't buy into this to begin with.
That's tough.
So now we're mad at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like when I watching it as somebody who is 25, you just feel for all these girls because they're like 17 and pissed, which is fair. They've been working for 2 years.
That's awful.
But then you're also watching it being like, well, she's right. Like, if you're in that situation and you basically know that you're going to be in the group, and you know the value you bring, like, don't let yourself be exploited by these like fucking people, you know?
100%.
But yeah, they did beef. And then I think that was all the beef. Daniela, very unproblematic, never beefed with anyone.
I love her.
It was more Sophia and Laura were beefing with Manon in training. And then, apparently Megan somehow beefed with Yoon Chae despite Yoon Chae not speaking any fucking English, which is so funny.
I love that. I love beefing with someone who doesn't speak English. I feel like I've known people who have done that. Yeah. Like just like beefed in different languages. It's almost like funnier because there's no conversation that can be had.
It's just based on facial expressions.
It's like, I fucking hate your vibe.
I fucking hate you. Your vibe is bad.
your vibe is bad. I hate you. I don't want to learn your language.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to talk to you, bitch.
Yeah, if I have to learn your language, then I have to talk to you, and I don't want to fucking do that.
Cats, I put out a new song called Gnarly. Which is this crazy like hyperpop thing. Yeah. It was a Chainsmokers and Alex Longugao song. Yes. And they're all credited in the writing. So it's not like they stole it or anything.
No, they bought it. They obviously bought the song.
But Alex Longugao, I actually saw her in concert last year.
That's so crazy.
Or 2 years ago. I can't remember. She's amazing. She's hilarious. She's like this tiny person who's like crazy, and all her songs are like, lesbians, I hate you. Like, it's like her songs are amazing. Like, she's awesome. You should check out her music. So when I heard this song, I was like, you can hear her voice in the track. Like, they didn't re-record it.
They did, but they did it to make it sound exactly like her.
Did they really?
Unfortunately,
I
know
like,
it sounds very similar, but if you listen to them back to back, it's just because Yoon Chae's the one that's doing the like boba tea. Tesla. That's her doing it.
That's crazy.
But she's doing it with the exact same intonation.
Because that is nuts.
It is nuts. Because I had the same thought. Because I knew just from like being online, somebody was like, oh, this is what it's from or whatever. Like, and they posted that TikTok that she posted with the Chainsmoker, or one of them. Yeah. I don't know who. Which Chainsmoker.
One of the Chainsmokers.
Yeah.
It was Chain.
And I was like, it sounds really, really similar. Yeah. Even in intonation. And then if you listen to them side by side, it's like, they obviously were like, we're going to do 17,000 takes of this.
Until it sounds exactly the same. Okay, that's crazy. I'm like, because also like Alice Longugao has like a Chinese accent. Yeah. And it's part of what makes her songs sound so unique is her voice. Because she also doesn't really sing. She sort of just says like, I hate you. I am hot. Yeah. You are ugly. Like,
yeah. Which is in the song. You can hear that too. And they had Yoon Chae, who is Korean say it, and I feel like they kind of had her like, they're like, say it how she says it.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that because I was like, that song is
that's information.
Crazy.
It is. And it's such a thing of like, when it came out, not to be like, I'm a person with vision, but like I have two areas of music that I enjoy. I have music that I enjoy for like the art of it, and then I have music that I enjoy because it's fun.
Yeah.
And when Gnarly came out, everyone was like, it's awful. I was like,
Get
it's
over
fun.
it.
Like, it's obviously like, and this comparison has been made, but it's basically like Selfie by the Chainsmokers.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and they can dance their fucking asses off. The performance is amazing.
Yeah, because
they're all throwing their fucking ass.
It's crazy. The dance is insane.
The dance is, I like when they do the little hinge. So
I
it's like,
know, the little hinge.
Yeah, I like that. And like, it's fun. I don't know. It's not like, I always am so surprised when people are like, this girl group's lyrics, and people obviously, you can disagree with me. Like, that's what's great about music, because you can be like, yeah, but no. Yeah. But I'm always just kind of like, I don't know, like, I listen to music that's kind of K-pop adjacent for like the beat, the fun. So it's like fun. When the lyrics are like quote unquote bad, I'm like, well, yeah, that's like the point.
There's other music for that.
There is. Like, I'm sorry, like Paul Simon is there.
I know.
I'm not expecting that poetry.
Yeah. Well, I got over like years. Like, I was always, this like very like pretentious about music.
Yeah.
Like very like, oh, like I don't want to listen to this crap. And then it's like, oh no, like you actually just like you can have fun. Like, if you want something really lyrically significant,
you can find that.
Yeah, you can find that. But if not, it's like, well, give up. Like,
that's with everything. Like, you have books that you read for fun, and then books that you read to be challenged. You have movies that you watch, they're just a fun romp. You have movies that you watch to like be moved and challenged. Like,
yes.
Art exists to have different, like, everybody who creates art has different goals when they're making it. And you're not making Gnarly because you want to like
push the limits of music making.
No, but like, that's also not what Cat's Eye is gonna do. Like, no, all of their lyrics are kind of like this. Like, it's like touch, 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 touch. Like, and I love that. Yeah, that's what I'm there for. But I'm just like, why do you care? Like,
I know.
I think a lot of it is a lot of people who are like K-pop stans. You don't realize how whack the lyrics are in Korean. So when it's in English, the same level, you're like, what is this? I can understand this, and I'm
like, what the hell is happening? But no, 100%.
I love them.
No, I just want to say that on Cat's Eye, because I was like, what the hell kind of mashup is this?
They're so messy. I think
I'm gonna watch this show.
You should. It's kind of, there would be times where I finished watching it feeling kind of like bad in a way, because I'd just be like, no one's gonna tell these poor girls. Like, I'm like, I don't like. It'll be like one girl being like, I hope I make the group, and I'm like, well, I've never fucking heard of you.
Oh no. Have you been watching The Rehearsal season 2?
I haven't seen The Rehearsal season 1.
Oh
Nathan
God.
I respect it.
Interesting.
I think it should exist. I think his comedy should exist. I think it like has value. I don't enjoy. I really don't like cringe comedy. Like, as a thing that makes me laugh. I find it like interesting for the art form or whatever. Yeah. But like, I have no interest in it.
Yeah. No,
which is strange. But people love it. It's like a cultural moment.
I love Nathan Fielder. I just think that The Rehearsal is so interesting. But it's it's one of those things that I love. I completely understand if it's not someone's thing.
Well, it's really a very specific thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not the kind of thing where you're like, well, like everyone likes it. Like, it is just, there's some things that are made for like most people to enjoy.
Yeah.
And some things aren't. And he doesn't make stuff for most people. He makes stuff for his audience, which I think is great.
He did have an absolutely psychotic episode. Did you hear about this?
The kid one? Is it the kid one where it's like, oh, that's from season 1, where it's like he pretends to be a father to this child.
Yes.
And the child is scarred. I've also heard about this like Star Search one that he did.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the whole new season 2 is about trying to prevent plane crashes.
Okay.
Like commercial airline crashes, and how in a lot of cases, if the co-pilot stood up to the pilot, it would have prevented it.
This is what I've heard.
And so he's trying to get like confidence and figure out how to do that. And so he tries in an effort to try and get these co-pilots to speak up and like turn down the pilots.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, when I worked on Canadian Idol, I had to turn down tons of people a day because I would do pre-screening auditions.
Yeah.
So we're going to get the co-pilots to do pre-screening auditions for like an American Idol type show. And so that's the whole thing. But then it gets to like one episode and he's like, I lost interest in this. It like just drops this thing.
That's so
and it's
crazy.
Like thousands and thousands of people auditioning. Like, it's just insane. But then he did one episode, and I think it's episode 3, where he's like, I need to know what it's like to be a good pilot. Who's a good pilot? It's Sully's, like, Sullenberger.
He gets Sully?
No, he recreates his life. The whole episode is him being Sully from like start to finish.
That's funny.
To when he lands the plane on the Hudson. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And at one point, he builds like a baby's room, giant, so that he's the size of the baby. And then he breastfeeds off this like huge puppet. It's absolutely psychotic. Just dresses up like Sully the whole time.
Wow.
It is one of the most bizarre episodes of TV I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then there's another episode where he's like, he finds out that they took off one of his episodes of Nathan For You, which is a show with Comedy Central that he did before. Because Paramount Plus took it off their streaming platform for like.
This is the Nazi one.
Yeah. And so
he's like, let's be clear, like he's Jewish. And I think the point was was this the one where he was making the windbreakers for Holocaust awareness?
Yeah. So in Nathan For You, he started a like a North Face type company that's like a real company with real
it's
products
windbreakers. It's like windbreakers and stuff like that.
Yeah, for Holocaust awareness.
But then like the setup, I remember seeing this online where it's like the setup like in store, it's like fucking pictures of the Holocaust. Like it really is like Holocaust awareness, but you're like, that is fucking crazy.
It's insane.
And they took it off of Paramount Plus, I guess.
Yeah. So they took it off that. And so he recreates this whole thing about going up to talk to the Paramount Plus executives, but he sets it up like a like Nazi war room.
Love.
And like has the head of Paramount Plus have like a German accent. It's bonkers. Like the stuff he's doing in season 2 is like absolute like balls to the wall. Like he's just like doing anything. Wow. It's insane to watch.
Okay.
But I understand how it's not everyone's cup of tea.
But it's your cup of tea specifically.
Oh God, yeah, I love it. But I'm also like a longtime Nathan Fielder stan.
Yeah, you're in on the lore.
Yeah, I was in for the long haul. Speaking of World War II.
Oh yeah, we are going to get into a lot of kind of World War II shit today.
Yeah.
We are talking, of course, about the Kennedys in World War II.
Horrifying.
I'm not really a World War II person. There are people that World War II is like their thing. That's for boy history. That's for the girl historians spin off boy historians. It's all about World War II.
I can't wait.
When we kind of grow, you know how like Alex Cooper has like the Unwell Network. Like when we get to the point where we're kind of growing our podcast network,
we hire a couple of men to do boy history.
Yes, although that is just history, I would venture.
Yeah, it's his story.
It's
not always her story. Let's be honest. I feel like if we keep doing this podcast long enough, we'll eventually just like have to do World War II.
Oh, definitely.
Like we'll just have to do it.
I think the problem with World War II though is like this is a comedy podcast, and like yes, we do talk about stuff that is depressing, but to do a whole season on just a topic that basically the undercurrent is like the genocide of so many people.
Yeah, we steer clear of genocide in general
because it's just like, no, this is not the place where you should be getting your information about that. We are not qualified to talk about it in any way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're not even really qualified to talk about any of this, but this, like, me saying a Kennedy fact kind of incorrectly does not have the ramifications of, like, Holocaust denial.
Yes, for sure.
So, there's that. We're going to talk about the Kennedys in World War II. I am very interested in the Kennedys in World War II because this is kind of when we see, like, the creation of JFK.
Yes.
He comes out of World War II, this like micro celebrity in a way because of the things that have happened. And up until this point, Joe Jr. was he was going to be the first Roman Catholic president. That's what the Kennedy family, we're raising Joe Jr. to be the president, and all of y'all are going to be supporting him in any way you see fit.
Yes.
And we see that ends, spoiler alert, in World War II. And we'll get into why.
Why does it happen? Give you 2 guesses. The first one doesn't count.
No.
Yeah, it's so interesting too because like it's such a man thing. Like I remember when you were talking about this being kind of like an area of interest within the Kennedys for you.
Yeah.
Because it is just kind of like the way we remember it in history is so noble and crazy and tragic, but then like it truly was just 2 boys trying to war each other.
Like,
like do war better than the other.
That's what's so crazy with the war and the Kennedys for me specifically. Like that's why it's so interesting to me is it's like because I don't really think about being a soldier fucking ever. Like I was socialized as a woman, so they don't teach you know what I mean? I'm not a boy.
You don't go to soldier class.
Is like a soldier, you know what I mean?
Everything's a gun.
Everything's a gun. Never had that, so I don't think about it in that way. And I'm not really around people even who like I don't know anybody who's like served, so I don't think about like the wars in any way. And like it doesn't affect me directly, which, you know, I'm thankful for. So like stuff like World War I and World War II is crazy to me to just think about like how regular people had to go to war. And the fact that I always find really crazy about that is like when regular people are fighting, and this is not to say that it doesn't happen for people who really want to be soldiers as well, I just don't know, but when people who are regular and didn't plan on being soldiers become soldiers, you just kind of bring your own agenda to the table, which I think is so interesting. Like you said, it gets remembered as this like noble thing, but in actuality this is all just further separate narratives within the Kennedy family, within their own personal narratives. And I'm also just really interested in like weird moments in history where everything could have been different.
Yeah,
you know, like
100%.
And like men, like in Iron Claw, like the hubris and the like prison of the patriarchy on men specifically is so sad. Like it's sad for women too, but I just like think about how it's bad for women all the time because I'm terrified of being murdered.
Yeah,
but like when you think about the weird twisted mind fuck ways it kills men.
Oh yeah,
that's also fucking crazy.
It's quite dark.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's very die for your country core.
Yeah, and it's like, why?
Yeah. Well, it's even like, I think that's why, and this is kind of making it like a much broader conversation, but I think that's why like Vietnam was really the end of nationalism in a lot of ways.
Totally.
Because it was like, you just couldn't use the like, be noble and die for your country thing anymore, because it was like everyone's just watching it on TV and it's just like slaughtering. Yeah. Just a numbers game.
And like World War II, we've talked about this before, like World War II really rests on the fact that in ending it and fighting against the Axis powers was a very noble cause and stopped a genocide in progress. Yeah. But like a lot of other times, America just like joins wars to like fuck shit up. And America joined World War II. I'm gonna get into this, but like they've retconned it to be like, we were liberating Germany. And it's like, no, bitch, you were pissed about Pearl Harbor. Like, it was not about the Nazis basically at all for y'all. So it's like...
Well, it's like World War I in the Lusitania. It's like, as soon as you're on our turf fucking up our ships...
Now we're pissed.
And we're going to get involved.
Well, and that's like 9/11 too. Like, it's such a systematic thing of being like, why are you guys treating us like we treat you? Like, now we've got to like react exorbitantly. And I think like, Vietnam was that, where it's like you're drafting regular people who do not want to go into a conflict that people know a lot more about and don't agree with no noble cause. Yes. And we're watching it live on TV. Like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, that's insane. Well, yeah, no, it's insane too. Because also I even say like World War II was like not even necessarily like, obviously like, I just don't like, I think it's pretty proven by history now that like no one knew the scope of the concentration camps until they were liberated. So it's like, you can't even really say that like...
No, they've retconned it to be like, no, we were doing it because we knew bad stuff was happening and we were on the right side of history. It's like, no.
No, you were worried about like communism spreading or some shit. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, whatever. Anyway, can't wait to get into this. Yes. I have been looking forward to it.
So a little bit of background info that I know you know, but if listeners are kind of coming in, just about the Kennedys and their kind of feelings towards... the World War going on before America joined it. Joe Sr., JFK's dad, is a crazy isolationist. He was the ambassador to Great Britain during portions of World War II and was like, let's let Hitler do what he needs to do. Yeah. Let him cook.
He really said, has anyone tried talking to Hitler?
You know that woman who was like, if I was Putin's mother, I would have loved him better.
Yes.
That's Joe Sr.
Joe Sr.
Being
if
like,
I was his dad, we would have gone sailing.
We would have gone sailing and it would have been fine. And I'm a really good dad to my sons too.
Rather be sailing. Rest in peace, William Finn.
Rip.
William Finn.
Kind of thought he was dead already. Rip. When you told me.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, oh,
okay.
Damn, rest in peace, King.
Yeah.
Just when someone dies who's so old.
I know.
It's like, oh, Me spreading like Kelly Bishop is dead last episode.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think she released a book.
She released a book this year.
Very recently.
I was thinking of someone though, so I don't know who the fuck.
I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were.
Thanks, girl. I'm trying my best.
So Joe Sr. does not want the United States to enter World War II. That's a big thing. He's like, we are isolated from the world. That's none of our business what's going on over there.
No, we are the Kingdom of America. We have our own globe.
After the Battle of Britain, he says democracy is finished in Great Britain and maybe America, which I think you talked about in an episode or so.
Yeah, not a quote that will make people love you.
No, crazy. Like, and was crazy at the time. Like, it's not like, it's not one of those things that you're like, and now we know that we're like, what? It's like, at the time, everyone was like, what?
It's also just like, you don't like look at a country that's just like been absolutely blitzkrieged out their shit. Yeah. Be like, democracy's dead too.
By the way.
Yeah.
He also calls countries threatened by Hitler, like Czech Republic and Slovakia, at the time Czechoslovakia.
Cool.
I feel like I pronounced that.
Czechoslovakia. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. He called them disposable countries.
Dude,
so he's got a real
was on to
he's
something.
Really giving quotes in
when
a big
he
way.
said Czechoslovakia is disposable, and they said, okay, we're gonna split into garbage and recycling, because it became Czech Republic and Slovakia.
Apparently, the Czech Republic is very beautiful.
I know. I really want to go there.
So there you go. I bet Slovakia is beautiful as well. They are famously quite close together.
Yes, but almost like at one time they were one country. Yeah, experts have said.
Yes, but joke's on him because 3 of his 9 children joined the war efforts.
Cool.
We have Joe Jr., the eldest son, Jack or JFK, second oldest son, and Kathleen Kennedy. Woo!
I'm posing for every one of their names,
Blair
by the way.
is saluting them.
Yeah, I'm doing a visual thing. Saluting.
For video listeners, by the way, video watchers, the girls are in the comments on the YouTube channel being like,
oh, yes,
we need X, Y, and Z. There's a couple of missing videos.
The missing videos, they're missing.
Move on. I'm sorry. I know that feel that pain. You need to feel that pain to metabolize it, take that broken heart, turn it into art, but then we have to move on because the footage is lost.
Let it go.
The footage is lost of time, and I'm sorry. And if it really matters to you that much, then you have to listen to the audio, and I'm so sorry. I understand that. I understand more than anybody.
Yeah.
When you imagine a way to consume a media and then you can't consume it in the way that you prefer,
it's
how
horrible.
annoying it is.
Just awful.
But the videos are not.
Yeah,
like,
I'm really
the videos
sorry.
now are going to come out, but the ones that we haven't uploaded yet, like there's like 2 that are missing.
Yeah.
They're not. It's done. It's done.
Though, however, we do now we're committing hardcore to videos going forward.
Yes. Now there will be a video for every audio episode now.
Yes.
Now.
But no more from the
past.
The back catalog is the back catalog.
We can't go back to the past.
We can't go back to the past. We can't revisit. We're only looking forward.
Yes.
Keep moving forward, Walt Disney.
Yes. That was Walt Disney. He had great opinions on many groups of people.
He did. And I can't wait until they unfreeze him.
Yes. He's going to be so chill and normal.
Chill, because it's frozen.
People are going to be like, we need to bring Walt Disney back. We need now more than ever. We need like positivity. And then he's going to come out and be like, I am an anti-Semite.
I'm an anti-Semite. What the hell? The sun is too hot.
It's so hot. Also, I am an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
It's me, Walt Disney.
It's me, Walt Disney. Where's the sexual assault in my cartoons?
Yeah.
He's going to be like, how come there's no racist bird gangs in the new Disney movie?
Yeah. We need to add a bit more of racist birds in the new Disney movie.
Why is there a woman leading this Disney
horrific.
film? That is gross.
That's really gross, guys.
What the hell's up with the Disney Plus user platform?
Yeah, he's got issues with the Disney Plus user platform more than anything.
He's pissed with the UX design.
Yeah, it's not great.
Me too, girl. It's not good.
Just do what Netflix did. Don't try and do a different thing than Netflix.
Yeah,
just do Netflix.
Netflix did it right. That's why
it's Netflix.
That's why we use Netflix like we use Kleenex to describe tissues.
Yes.
Kind of say, oh, we'll just watch something on Netflix, meaning any streaming service.
Yes.
At least I do that.
I agree. Let's Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Okay, I gotta tell you about Pearl Harbor before we get into each kid's kind of.
Fuck yes.
We're gonna talk about Pearl Harbor and then we'll go through kid by kid what they did in World War II.
Cool. Okay.
And I know probably y'all know about Pearl Harbor, but we got to talk about it.
You know what? I don't know. I know what Pearl Harbor is. I don't think I could like tell you.
Yeah.
Back exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt as well. I had to kind of look into it to be like, what's the specific info that I need to know? Like, because you know about the event, but you're like, but like what happened?
What are the deets? What's the
details? Yeah. So this is a little kind of run through. Side note, when I was in high school in America in grade 9, for one of our class, like one of our school, they would just like have a random assembly of just like a rogue person speaker booked. I don't know what was going on there.
Mine would do that too.
Yeah, they're just like, the speaker's here. It's not really about anything, but he's going to talk about like whatever.
We just had to spend this budget.
Yeah. And one time we had a white guy who worked alongside MLK, which was pretty cool, but he had like a piece of glass that was from when somebody threw a Molotov cocktail into MLK's house, and he like stole the piece of molten glass and then let us all pass it around. And looking back on that, I'm like, that is a little weird.
A little bit weird.
To steal the molten glass of a man's home being...
It's really interesting. Crushed. Yeah, it's not great.
Another guy we had talked to us about Pearl Harbor.
Cool.
And the way he said JAPS... Oh, he loves to describe Japanese people. Oh, mama. And even then, in like 2013, we were like, that's... Oh, are we saying that? I don't know if we're saying that anymore.
That's also like a dangerous one, because I grew up with that meaning something completely different that was like normal to say. But now I don't know where we've landed on it.
What does it mean?
Jewish American princess.
Oh, yes. Well, that's different. But I think using it to describe Japanese people.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's not like a slur. Yeah. But it's offensive.
Yes. Well, it's like, you know how some slurs, it's like they put no thought into them.
Yeah.
Like at least
it's just free association, like,
or you know, there's some historical context, like, you know, like cracker. I wouldn't even say necessarily
cracker is the worst slur,
but like
it's
I just feel like
the worst slur.
It's one I can say and not worry about.
I know.
Let's just say that.
That's exactly it.
But like, you know what I mean? Like if you're saying cracker, it's like, okay, at least that's like, it doesn't like just saying like you're shortening the word.
Exactly.
Like
There's
what?
No thought. There's no thought in that.
You didn't think. You didn't use your brain.
Okay. So Pearl Harbor is why the U.S. joined the war efforts, as we talked about before. Mm-hmm. They love to retcon and be like, and this is like, we talked about this before. Like nobody knew the extent to the genocide going on,
but they knew it wasn't good.
They knew it wasn't good, but a lot of people didn't join World War II for like the reason everyone says now, which is like, we stopped them.
We stopped the Holocaust.
Nazis. It's like, well, yeah, you did, but like that was a side effect of what you just wanted to stop him from expanding.
Yeah.
That was your biggest concern.
You were worried about like just
one continent.
Yes.
Becoming Hitler's whole kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was your concern.
Which was also concerning.
Yes, definitely. But
the retcon is crazy.
The retcon is crazy. So Japan had joined the Axis power. We talked a little bit about this in the John Green episode of like how World War I led to World War II, whatever. Yes. Japan is on its fucking expansion shit. Mm-hmm. Right now. Japan wants to expand. Japan wants to colonize all of Asia.
Yes.
Functionally. And they're really good at it.
Oh, yeah.
They have a crazy military. They're ready to go.
They are truly the England of Asia.
Yeah.
In that way.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, if you talk to a lot of, I feel like my friends growing up who had like Asian parents who were like either Chinese or from Hong Kong or from like Korea, like fuck, oh my God, do they hate Japanese people? It's like a racism I didn't know existed. And I remember being
crazy.
Like, oh,
okay.
But it's like a culturally ingrained racism that like you don't know. Cause like as a white person, racism is just based on race. There's not like a lot of geopolitical background in it. It's just like white people are white supremacists or whatever.
Yes.
Where you're like, oh my God, this 89-year-old Chinese man really hates Japanese people.
Well, that's like the juicy racism. You know what I mean? Like that's
it's
when
built on because fights.
That I would say is like barely even racism, where it's just like interpersonally kind of like
because you're kind of the same race,
each other,
right? Like
like when you're the same race and you're just like beefing your next door neighbor.
Yeah,
that's special.
It is.
That's when it starts to really cook.
Yeah, and like honestly, like they all had horrible associate. Like they were like, yeah, I'm this way because like my sister was killed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like the Japanese were doing some crazy shit over there.
It's not good.
No. There's a reason why we took their army away. We went, you cannot have this. You can't.
You guys are too good at having army.
You cannot have army.
You cannot have army. You're too good at it.
You are too good at army. You can't have it. And they're like, fine. Toilets and Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty?
Toilets.
Hello Kitty. Did you see the smiling dog? It's cute.
It's pretty cute. This is what happens when you get your best guys away from creating torpedoes and shit.
Get them into creating adorable plushies.
Exactly.
Why have a torpedo when you could have a little Hello Kitty backpack?
We would not have had Pokemon without Pearl Harbor.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's beautiful.
And that's beautiful. And thank you, Pikachu. Love Pikachu.
We should get him on the podcast.
Let's get Pikachu on the pod.
Oh my god.
I would love to get a little yellow fuck on the pod who only says Pika Pika.
I want Pikachu on the pod saying Pika Pika throwing ass. I want him popping pussy on the podcast.
We should do an episode of the podcast where we just speak in tongues.
Pika Pika.
Pika Pika.
Pika Pika.
Pika Pika.
Pika Pika. So Pika Pika. Pika Pika.
Pika 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 Pika
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
We start off like Pika.
Pika.
Pikachu. Pikachu. Pikachu.
Pikachu.
That's fucking funny.
An hour and a half. That's comedy.
Yes.
Pearl
Japan
Harbor.
joins the Axis powers because it wants to expand, much like Italy and Germany.
Yes.
Also, it's got kind of like leftover like shit from World War I, where it feels like nobody takes it seriously, so it really wants to be seen as a main player. Mm-hmm. They also want to oppose the Soviet Union, which is a considerable threat, and the spread of communism.
Yes.
Because as you know, the Soviet Union was our allies in World War II.
Bananas.
I know. And we know this because, of course, like a couple of years ago in like Canada, in like the House of Commons, they had an old man come and talk about what it was like fighting against the Soviet Union, against Russia in World War II. And this was because this is when Russia had started to invade Ukraine, and it was them being like, wow, this is a guy who fought against Russia then. Wow.
It's just like
in World War II. And
not
one person in that went, he fought against Russia in World War II.
These are people who have to have
but we were
degrees in politics to do these jobs.
Yeah, they're like, but in World War II we were with Russia. So that means this is a Nazi. Oh my God, there's a Nazi, which is a real thing that fucking happened.
Dude, Canadians are so funny
crazy,
that way.
man.
We're so jokes.
We really love to mix it up.
I would love to just hang out one day in the Canadian House of Commons.
Be like, let's get
a laugh fest.
Yeah, I'm gonna be schmoozing, gabbing
with the girls.
Yes. Okay, so on December 7th, 1941, Japan attacks the naval base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii.
Facts.
Japan wants a quick war and wants to quickly weaken the U.S.'s military power and access to oil. So they're like, we're going to, their idea was being like, let's just fucking decimate them this one time. Mm-hmm. And then they'll be like, we're not going to fuck with them, whatever. But again, really kind of underestimating that America hates nothing more than when they are treated how they treat everyone else in the world.
Yes.
There's actually simply nothing is more violent. You recall post 9/11, which was obviously a tragedy. Like 9/11 is bad, but then when that happens, they're like, what?
We're going to do 9/11 50 times.
Well, literally, right? Because like this is the majority of the reason why we then get Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which is when the U.S. joins World War II. They develop atomic bombs. Love that.
Heard of Oppenheimer?
Ever heard of a little guy named
Christopher Nolan?
Pika
Pikachu.
And
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's my favorite Pokemon, dude. I love Oppenheimer.
I love Oppenheimer.
Power him up. I caught Oppenheimer in a care ball. Anyways, those are the pink Pokemon balls, which look really cute.
That's adorable. But we should get into Pokemon Go and go on Pokemon Go.
I would love that. I actually. People still play.
Talk. I know. My friend's grandfather, who's like 89 years old, is addicted. He's been playing for years and has like thousands of Pokemons. So I'm like, let's get back into it. Wow. He barely speaks a lick of English either.
You don't need to. It's cross-cultural.
He just walks around. I went for dinner with her family once, and we took a long-ass walk to dinner because of this 89-year-old man.
Needs to catch
being
Pokemon.
Like, I gotta catch the Pokemon around here.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
As is his right.
I think he's gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, he's so happy.
Yes.
I hate to say what I have to say next after that. So the combined death toll of Hiroshima and Nagasaki is over 200,000.
It's not great.
So 2,400 people were killed in Pearl Harbor.
Jesus Christ.
200,000 are killed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki when the U.S. dropped the A-bombs on 2 Japanese cities.
Horrifying.
So that's kind of like how America rolls, right? It's like we will do it times X, which we know.
Horrifying.
So during Pearl Harbor, 350 Japanese aircrafts fly into American airspace. I mean, it's fucking Hawaii, which shouldn't be a part of America anyway, but we don't have time to talk about that. Whenever you look on a map and you look where Hawaii is, you're like, that's part of America?
No, it shouldn't be. It's crazy.
It's so impossibly far.
I always kind of pictured it as like off the coast of California as a kid.
Me too, because that's where they put it on the map. They have the map of America, and then they have a little box where Alaska is, which also shouldn't be a part of America.
That should be Canada.
Yeah, and Canada shouldn't exist. But you know what I mean. It should be, there's people here before us. But if we're doing colonialism, it makes sense.
We should get Alaska.
Yes.
We should also get Hawaii.
They have the box down there where Hawaii is. So it looks like Hawaii is like, a couple hundred miles off the coast of California.
It is in the middle of the ocean.
In the Pacific Ocean. It's so in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
It's crazy in the middle of the ocean.
It's crazy. It's the 51st state.
That is like, it's crazy that Stitch landed there.
Stitch landed there?
There? That tiny little dot? Well, I guess that's kind of the premise of Lilo and Stitch.
That it was like random. I love that movie.
I love Lilo and Stitch. They made Lilo too young in the live action. I'm worried. She's like,
I don't want to see the live action. I don't want to see the live action. I want to rewatch the cartoon.
No, but you know what live action I am genuinely excited for?
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sobbing at the trailer.
How to Train Your Dragon.
And it looks just like the animated version. Actually,
they've done a good job with it.
Yes, they didn't.
They really could have fucked Toothless, and they didn't. Toothless looks really cute.
Toothless is adorable.
Yeah.
Not like those fuck ass lions.
Yes.
From The Lion King. Terrifying.
We know what lions look like.
You didn't need to make the expressionless lion Beyonce.
No, they did. But they did.
Crazy.
And if you don't understand that, that's your problem.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the 350 Japanese aircraft sink 18 U.S. naval vessels, including battleships, and damage 300 U.S. aircrafts. 2,403 people are killed.
Jesus.
Okay? Cool. So this marks the U.S. joining the war, right?
Yes.
It's in 1941. So now let's talk about the different Kennedy siblings and what they're doing in World War II.
Okay.
Sorry. Marks America joining World War II.
Yes.
Not World War I.
World War II.
Yes. Sorry. So let's talk about first Kick, because hers is, they're all pretty traumatic, but hers is pretty short. Kick volunteers as a part of the Red Cross in London in the summer of 1940. So that's even before the U.S. joined the war. A lot of the Kennedy kids are raised in London or England because of their dad being the ambassador, all these things. And she volunteers with the Red Cross due in part to her wanting to be closer to Billy Hartington. Billy is a British aristocrat that she met while her father was the acting ambassador to Great Britain. And he is also a captain in the British Army, and they get married in May of 1944, and he is killed in battle 3 months later.
Oh my God.
Sucks.
That's really too bad.
Yeah. So that's that. Then we'll talk about JFK.
Amazing.
Because that's just a little trauma we have to kind of sprinkle in so you get some context on Kick.
Kick will be a fun episode too. Yes. She also immediately saddles up with another British aristocrat.
Say what you will about the Kennedys. They move on.
Yeah, they are fishing.
They move on fast.
They're like, aw, she died. Aww.
Unhinge. Swiping.
Swipe, match.
She's just swiping everything. She's not even swiping left. She's just swiping right on everything.
No, she's just seeing it. She's
speed running.
She's doing, we used to call that in university, we used to call that a self-confidence swipe.
You're just being like boom, 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 boom,
swipe right on everyone.
Yes. So JFK joins the Army or the Navy.
Yes.
He commands a patrol torpedo craft called the USS PT 109 or 109, and he is a lieutenant junior grade.
Cool.
So what these PT, I want to call them cruisers, but that simply is a car. These PT, I'm going to call it cruisers. I have to call them that. I don't know what
now that you've said it, you can't say anything else.
They are basically patrolling the Pacific Ocean because the Japanese military is expanding into the Pacific Ocean via the island chains, right? So, he's in the Solomon Islands, like basically the chains from like Asia where it's like Thailand, Japan, Korea, all that stuff. Like, and then you just go down and then it's like Oceania.
Yeah.
So they're trying to stop that from happening.
Cool.
But
wasn't there also a thing, and maybe I'm making this up, so we might have to confirm on another episode, but wasn't it like they didn't actually want him to join the Army because of his health record and they like pulled strings and got him in?
I don't know that.
I'm going to check on that because I feel like that might have been a thing.
It feels like he's sickly, and this does not, we'll get into his issues later because it is funny. It's not like funny, but it is a little funny because like I just really love seeing myself. It's really important to see yourself, represented on screen.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, seeing somebody with just tummy problems become president of the United States.
Seeing a president who can't poop good become president.
That's huge for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Carley Thorne core.
That's Carley Thorne core. So PT 109's job was to attack Japanese ships supplying troops to the islands in this area. Okay. And on August 2nd, 1943, PT 109 is running silent. So like they're muffled. There's whatever, their engines are muffled to avoid detection. and the Japanese destroyer, the Amagiri, slices into it, runs into it basically, not head on, because it's like it's head on, and then the PT is sideways, and just slices it in half, and it explodes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Intense.
Yeah. Now, there's an argument as to whether or not JFK's like command is the reason why this exploded. But experts who have studied this military, I don't know, instance, event, freaks,
the studiers,
by the way, the freaks, go be home with your kids,
the rebels,
the tiny dancers,
the rule breakers,
the weird and the wonderful,
the weirdos, the freaks who study the military
JFK's PT explosion. So these people have decided that it seems like he had, upon seeing the Japanese destroyer, great name for a band, by the way.
That is really good.
He has 15 seconds to react.
Yes.
So he orders the engines to go full throttle and turn 30 degrees so that they're head on, making them a harder target to hit. But because it's only 15 seconds, by the time they were hit, none of that actually worked. Like you can be like, oh, do that, but then it's like by the time that doesn't take 15 seconds to implement.
You can't actually do anything about it.
However, PT boat veteran Ted Robinson has a different story than what these experts have agreed on. Robinson also lost a boat in World War II, and he claims that afterwards JFK confided in him that he had made a mistake that allowed PT 109 to get hit. His impulse was to go full throttle, as we said before. But the engines were muffled to pass silently. And going full throttle while the engines are muffled basically means that the engine stalls, allowing the boat to kind of just be floating defenseless as this Japanese warship is speeding towards them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not here to judge. I'm not in the military.
Yeah. It's an interesting move.
From what my vibe, and I've got basically zero information on, I don't know military tactics or whatever. It feels like, yes, the engine stalled and that's bad, but also 15 seconds between friends, what are you really going to do? Unless you have a torpedo fucking ready to go. But there's also really interesting reports from the Japanese destroyer that they were trying to not hit that boat because the PTs had a bunch of torpedoes. So oh my God, it's going to explode and
scary.
And it'll be bad for us. But then they just accidentally did it. But the guy who was the captain was like, no, I meant to. And then his second in command was like, he did not mean to.
Oh my God.
So who knows?
Okay.
Whatever happens, this destroyer cuts the PT boat in half and it explodes.
Okay.
So this kills 2 crew members, the explosion.
Okay.
Injures 3 others with serious burns, but throws all 11 crew members that are alive still into the water. So they're all in the water. It's 2 a.m.
Jesus.
By the way.
So it's dark.
Yes, it's dark as fuck. So JFK grabs MacMillan, who is the most injured crew member. He has burns on 70% of his body. And tows him to the floating bow of the ship. And then
horrifying.
Tows 2 other injured crewmen and organizes, the 11 remaining survivors all to float on this part of the boat, waiting to be rescued.
Yes.
But they just assume there's no survivors.
Okay.
So nobody's comes to get them, basically.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're staying on this floating thing for 12 hours, just kind of slowly floating south. But then the hull begins to take on water around 1 p.m. the next day.
Okay.
So they decide they need to swim to a nearby island. They swim 3.5 miles to the deserted Plum Pudding Island.
Okay.
It's now renamed Kennedy Island, but it's called Plum. And say what you will about the British, nobody loves to name something so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
this is peas pottage, by the way.
What a beautiful sight!
It reminds me of Plum Pudding.
It reminds me of mushy peas.
Crazy.
Call it Mushy Pea Mountain.
Exactly, and then that's just what it's called.
Oh, what a beautiful valley! Let's call it Fried Haddock.
Yes, that's simply what Plum Pudding Island is. And they chose this because it would have less Japanese troops on it because it's like a deserted island, right?
It's a desert island.
Yes, Blair!
Yes, I'm back, baby.
Yes, she's locked in.
I'm locked in.
It takes them 5 hours to swim there.
Oh, God, that is so long.
I know.
I remember once I swam for an hour and I was like, I'm gonna drown.
I know. Yeah. And Kennedy was on Harvard's swim team, and he puts a life jacket on MacMillan. And I think it's MacMillan, but it's just so hard to, I don't know how you pronounce it. Right? Puts a life jacket on him. He's the one with 70% of his body's burned.
Yes.
And then puts the strap from the life jacket in between his teeth and tows him all 5 hours to the island.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Damn.
There's no food.
Jack and Rose could never.
I know, seriously. There's no food on Plum Pudding Island, so then they swim 3.75 miles. So that's even longer. That's probably 5 more to Alsana Island, which has coconuts. Yay! And Kennedy toes MacMillan again with his teeth.
Jesus Christ. Is this guy like conscious?
I don't know. I mean, I think he survives.
That's insane.
I know.
Okay.
Because you got to feel like sepsis, right? I guess that's the benefit of salt water.
Where are the other guys? Did they all die?
No, they're all swimming with him. But they're not good enough swimmers to like tow, I guess.
Put someone in their teeth.
And there's like a weird military thing. Anybody who knows anyone in the military listening to this episode is screaming. They're like, these people know nothing about it. But there's this kind of thing of being like, you're the captain.
Yes.
You're the leader. No man left behind. It's your job. These are your men.
Yes.
So I feel like that's also why
you can't
he's
leave
doing
them behind.
You know?
For sure.
They found supplies left by the Japanese and spoke with the native Melanesians who were coast watchers.
Okay, cool.
Because they're the native people on the island, right?
Okay.
Their names were Biuku, Gaza, and Aroni Kumana. They learned eventually through speaking like pidgin English.
Cool. That
these were the crewmen of that lost PT 109, and then brings them yams and cigarettes and vows to help them.
Okay.
Real
iconic.
Ones. So they pitch using a coconut and having JFK write a message on the coconut that they can bring to a U.S. naval base by canoeing.
Cool.
They canoe.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they do that. So one of them goes up and iconic. Gets a coconut. Then he writes on the coconut, and then they bring the coconut to the U.S. naval base. And they are finally rescued on August 8th. JFK is thought of as a war hero for keeping his crew alive and not leaving his injured crewmen behind.
Amazing.
He is awarded the Purple Heart and the Navy and Marine Corps Medal.
Oh my God.
And there's a lot of news coverage about this at the time. His dad really makes sure that there's a fuck ton of news coverage about this.
The way he must have come in his pants when JFK got a Purple Heart.
And the news coverage really kind of makes it seem like this is all JFK's idea. Often when you hear this story about the coconut, it's like JFK's idea. And there's a movie about this. Yeah, but in actuality, it's like he didn't even get the coconut.
No.
But he doesn't say it's his idea.
I can't get up the tree. Didn't you just swim 5 hours?
You swam 10 hours in one day.
I really don't.
My arms hurt. Do you guys have a liquid IV?
Do you guys have a liquid IV? Do you guys have any Celsius?
I would kill for a Celsius right now.
Do you guys have any cigarettes and yams?
I would love a yam and a cigarette right now.
Love a yam and a cigarette right now.
Honestly?
Not a bad combo.
No, honestly, now that we're talking,
no one ever offers me a yam and a cigarette anymore.
And that's horrible.
They're always offering me beer.
Yes.
Racist.
So the contributions of JFK's ensign and the Melanesian coast watchers are kind of left out. Mm-hmm. This incident exacerbates JFK's gastrointestinal issues and his back pain. This is because he's swimming for simply 10 hours and he already has back pain. Mm-hmm. So like his back is like debilitatingly, like it's injured now.
And at this point he's like pretty young still.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, he's like 20.
Because his older brother joins the war efforts, I think, kind of around like when he's in his late 20s. So he's got to be kind of in his mid 20s, and his back is fucked up.
Well, because what year is that? Do you know offhand what year it is?
This is in.
This would be like 42,
43,
43. So he would be 27.
Yeah. So that's like kind of young to be fucked up. Yeah. Debilitating back pain.
Absolutely.
And like, as somebody with gastrointestinal issues, I don't really feel like you'd feel it was safe to shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's not like really a safe environment to shit.
No.
So that's not great.
It's not a good time.
No.
To have colitis.
No. But you know what? Like, in some ways, isn't it better to die of a bullet in the head than of your colitis?
Yes.
So in many ways, almost every way. Lee Harvey Oswald really kind of put him out of his misery.
Yeah, exactly. He would have had tummy aches.
Exactly.
If he hadn't gotten shot in the head.
Sometimes when I have a tummy ache, I'm like, bitch, I wish.
Like, shoot me in the
Somebody
head.
would shoot me in the head.
Shoot me in the head.
Don't, guys. Femicide is not.
Please don't.
Funny. It's not.
It's not funny.
Jesus fucking Christ, guys. You guys love to laugh about that, and it's not funny.
It's not funny.
What else?
Laughing.
What else?
I'm done. My groove is gone.
I'm done fucking laughing.
I know. I'm not laughing.
Blair
for
lost
the
her
rest of the
groove. Are you
episode.
guys happy?
I lost my groove. You guys happy? I'm like the emperor. I have to get a new one.
Yeah. You have to get your groove back like Stella.
It's like Stella gets a groove back.
So the coconut that he wrote his message on eventually makes its way back to JFK and gets preserved in glass and is used as a paperweight in the Oval Office when he is the president.
Okay.
That he wrote his little message on, which is kind of a token from your trauma, but that's how men be. That's how men be, where it's like, that would be like, I don't know. Think of whatever, we're all going to think about it for a moment quietly. Kind of like what, up until this point in our life, was maybe our largest trauma. There's an item we associate with that, right? And then we're going to put that in glass, and that's a paperweight.
Yeah. How big was the coconut? Was it a really small coconut, or was it a really big paperweight?
Because he wrote in it. I feel like it's a part of the coconut, not a whole coconut. Okay. I don't have the information, but that's what I'm picturing, right?
Bananas.
Kennedy also invites both Gasa and Kumana to his inauguration. Mm-hmm. And then the U.S. authorities say, no, it would be really embarrassing to have savages there who don't speak English, so they don't invite them. They invite U.S. like government officials from the country or whatever.
Oh my God.
Isn't that horrible?
That is awful.
Yeah, so they get to the airport to come to the inauguration and they get turned back.
Oh my God.
Isn't that horrible?
Jesus Christ.
Also, bitch, that is the least of your problems in terms of
yeah, no, that's insane.
They should see who's in the White House right now.
I know, seriously.
Cheeto in chief. Both of these two Coast Watchers were still alive when National Geographic visited them in 2002.
Whoa.
They were presented with a bust and a letter from the Kennedy family.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics of if that was helpful to them in any way, but
probably nice after getting turned away at the airport.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Gasa dies in 2005 and Kumana died on August 2nd, 2014, 71 years after the original collision took place.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
Now let's talk about Joe Jr.
Woo!
So Joe Jr. is JFK's older brother. He is being groomed to be the president one day. Not just the president, the first Roman Catholic president of the United States.
Period.
Couldn't see Joe Biden coming down the pipeline.
Nope.
Ugh.
Couldn't see him.
I was gonna, never mind. I don't want to talk about Joe Biden. It's sad. Die. I know, it's sad. I don't need to I don't want to pile in on. I do think his presidency was
he's gonna die
bad, but nobody
should
should
die soon.
But apparently it's hormonal. It's like a hormonal reactive cancer, which is easier to treat than ones that don't react to hormones.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't know. That's what I read on Reddit. So I
feel like he's also a bajillion years old.
So he might just die from being from being when people die of cancer, but they're also kind of just dying from being 90.
Yes, yeah,
that might be the vibe. I don't know if
you were too old.
Anyways, I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to welcome me getting shot with a gun. I don't want to welcome that. I don't want to.
Don't put that energy out.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So Joe Sr. wants a president as a son. Because remember, we're all kind of carrying the trauma of Joe Sr.'s dad, Patrick.
Yes.
Who wanted to be a congressman but couldn't because he was Irish. They're really carrying that torch, and they're every single generation we are going to accumulate more and more power.
And Joe Sr. kind of thought he was on track to maybe be president.
Yes, and he was wrong.
And then he said, democracy's dead in England.
He said, by the way,
maybe we should just talk to Hitler.
Guys, why do we care so much about fucking Czechoslovakia? It's a dispensable country.
I know. Imagine if any of these fuckers had Twitter.
I know. Think before you speak. Well, and that's why when everyone's like, oh my God, have you seen what Jack Schlossberg fucking tweeted? And I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
He's got JFK Messi in his system. Love him. I mean, unless he's done something bad that I don't.
They're always saying something bad. That's the thing.
That's kind of what it is to be a Kennedy, I
whenever
guess.
You're but just anyone, you know what I mean? Any of these public figures is did you hear that in this year they said this? It's shocking.
Yeah, they're
crazy.
Well, I read an article that was all about when they were filming the third season of The White Lotus because Patrick Schwarzenegger is, of course, a Kennedy.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's a Kennedy, which is so funny because that video came out of him when he got cast in The White Lotus crying in a resort because he was so excited about being cast. And everyone was like, your dad is Arnold Schwarzenegger and you're a Kennedy. Are you ever surprised you're not being cast and stuff?
Yeah.
But he was apparently really weird to the boxing people at the resort. Where he was like, I can fucking fight you. I can fight you. And then when they're
cool.
okay, let's fight. He was like, I don't want to.
That's
and I was like,
so cool.
Now that's Kennedy.
Now that's Kennedy. Now that's Kennedy.
Yes. So Joe Sr. wants a president for his son, looks at his firstborn son and goes, that's him. That will be him.
That's my boy.
Totally
he also
normal,
was
no
very
pressure.
Presidential. Even when you see pictures of JFK with Joe Jr., it's yeah, Joe Jr. is the
JFK's sickly as fuck.
Tiny.
You're not going to pick IBS Jack over here to be president.
Over Big Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Big fighting Joe.
Definitely. Joe Jr. also in 1940 was a Massachusetts delegate to the DNC and had plans to run for the House when the war ended. He was going to run and become a congressman. And he was 25 when in 1940.
Bananas.
So he was already a delegate at 25.
Yeah.
Anybody who has political aspirations that young, I'm always that's crazy. I could simply never run for office. I've said so many crazy things online. Although apparently they say this thing of because I was reading about this recently because I was like, I could just simply never run for office. I've said like insane shit online. But apparently it's not as bad like if you are a public figure already, because like people kind of understand the concept of performing. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's way worse if you're like a campaign like crisis manager. It's way worse if somebody isn't a public figure, like if they're just a doctor but then they have racist tweets.
Yeah.
Like they're like, that's way worse because it's just like, oh, this person's just doing this in their fucking private life for no reason.
Yeah. I know. I do think that like it used to be, I feel like the whole idea of like anything you put on the internet is like permanent. Like used to be a lot scarier before like every single person has like a fully documented life on the internet.
Well,
now.
that's it. I'm like, if I just got to keep creating content to bury old shit. I mean, I haven't done anything bad, but I just mean like somebody would pull up if I ran for like, you know, city council. They'd be like, this is her saying men shouldn't have rights.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I was joking.
You're like, obviously I was joking, but that's like easy to understand, you know?
Well, you'd think, but then Iowa Debris makes a joke about J-Lo and all of a sudden she has to apologize to J-Lo.
That actually is crazy. Imagine having to apologize to J-Lo.
I know. And honestly, I know you just want to do it. You obviously just want to do it because like you want to make your life easier, but I'd be like, I'm not apologizing. J-Lo can fucking deal.
I know.
She's like, way more famous than like J-Lo can deal.
Also, just like to me, and maybe this is a bad way to think, but I'm like, podcasting is a safe space.
What happens here is between me and you and every single viewer of Girl Historians.
Every single viewer of Girl Historians.
That's just between us three.
But you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like, okay, but like even you got like you listening now. This is a safe space.
Say like whatever you want.
It isn't the same kind of like public platform. It's just like roguely tweeting something on your account that has
it's even
like
different than YouTube.
Followers.
I think people kind of understand there is just something about podcasting where they're like, well, they're free associating for 2 hours every week.
Exactly.
They're not going to always have a good take, you know?
I've said so many things I like fully don't believe.
That's what's so crazy about having a podcast is you say something and somebody challenges you on it and then you're like, oh yeah, well, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I didn't mean that.
It's insane, guys.
Like when I said that, I was kind of been
I don't know.
Speaking for 2.5 hours straight.
At that point, I thought it maybe was something I believed. I just thought maybe I believed it. I didn't know.
Yeah. I was trying something out. I was trying to see how it felt in my mouth.
Yes. So Joe Jr., before the U.S. entered the war, had expressed support for Hitler.
Yes.
Love. Joe Sr. sent him to Nazi Germany in 1934. And Joe Jr. wrote to his father praising the Nazi sterilization policy. If you don't know what that is, I mean, you can probably fucking put it together. It's just eugenics, right? So it's like selective breeding to further the Aryan race, crazy white supremacist, fucking crazy shit like that. And Joe Jr. says the policy was a great thing, in quotes, that, in quotes, will do away with many of the disgusting specimens of men.
Oh my God.
Yuck. He also said, quote, Hitler is building a spirit in his men that could be envied in any country.
Oh my God.
Yuck. I hate that. I also put in here a fun little story. It involves me being like, I had sex, but it's funny for the story. You know how sometimes like you in the middle, like I feel like, you know, because sex is a long process. You know, sometimes you're doing it for like, you're just like, I'm on a journey. You know what I mean? Days on end. And you kind of like, sometimes your mind wanders. We truly like, and not to be like, guys, I have sex. But recently we were having sex.
What?
And I said to him, out of the blue, I laughed afterwards. I was like, this is so crazy. I was just turned to him and went, it's crazy how many people like went to Nazi Germany. And he was like, okay, pot. Like, you simply can't bring up Nazi Germany right now. But I was thinking, like, it was like, because you don't really think about it. And especially now, it's interesting to see when we kind of like the U.S. is like quirky, cute, sliding into fascism. Like, how, you know, people around the world like excuse that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And that did happen with Germany as well, right? Like, it's this kind of thing of being like, yeah, it's not great, but like we need them as a trade partner, whatever, right? So it is really crazy when you think back to it and you're like, people were going to Nazi Germany to like conduct business.
Oh yeah, they were just like, they were checking it out.
They were going just for like fun.
What an interesting style.
Cool. I love it here.
They were hosting the Olympics there.
Yes.
Like, fucking
great. Yeah. But I was like, sorry. Immediately was like, oh my God, I can't be bringing up.
Sometimes,
but I was right.
I think there's something to that though, where it's just like when you're like having sex and it's been going on for a while, you're kind of in like, you're not really thinking about the sex anymore. It's kind of just like a fidget toy.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh, my mind is free because my body's occupied.
Yeah, it's
you
like
have
I
new
can
thoughts.
Finally focus.
I can finally write my book.
Well, and you also like your brain is like so clear, right? Like because you're having so much blood literally rush to your brain that I was like, oh my God.
You're just like, no one's talking about Nazi
I had a brain
Germany.
blast. I went, brain blast.
Brain blast.
It was crazy how many people visited Nazi Germany. And I was fucking right for saying that. Like, I'm not wrong. It's just the timing was not perfect.
That's really funny.
Yes.
That's really funny.
It was, I was acting crazy. Okay, we have to talk about Amy Deheran a bit. She is a British Secret Service agent, socialite, and style icon who dated Joe Jr. and changed his opinion about the Nazis.
Yes.
So Amy was doing intelligence work for President Vargas. Brazil had been invited to join the Axis powers, and he wanted information about the Nazi regime.
Yes.
So he was also obsessed with her. Like, men, she just had something, like, men were obsessed with her. He was obsessed with her, and he basically gave her an unlimited credit card and was like, go to Paris, join the upper crust, become a socialite so you can, rub shoulders with people who have more information about what's going on in Nazi Germany and tell me if it's good or bad. So she basically just, like, was a fashionista going around, like, going to parties, and nobody took her seriously because they just thought she was, like, a fashion girly who loved to party.
Well, she was collecting info.
It was like if Paris Hilton was like was for the KGB. Like everybody was just telling her shit. And this is such a smart idea. I really do think more women should be spies because the way men will just simply tell you anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The shit that I've had just told to me that I'm like, this is information.
You shouldn't say that.
You don't know me like this, but this is not safe with me.
Yeah.
This information is simply not safe with me.
You think I'm a safe space is a crazy jump to make.
No, like you don't know me, and I know that you're kind of projecting onto me, and like I'm happy to receive this information, but I'm going to tell simply everybody involved.
Yeah, the village will know.
The village will know by this time.
The village
tomorrow.
will know tomorrow. I'm posting a notice on the village board.
I'm live streaming right now.
Yeah. I'm on live stream.
Yes.
I was trying to think of like a live stream platform, but I guess there really isn't one.
There was one for Twitter in like 2010, but I forgot the name. I couldn't access it.
We're live on Facebook, bitch.
Yes. Bitch, we're live on Facebook.
Bitch, we're live on Facebook.
Pika pika.
Pika pika, bitch.
That feeling when you're Catholic.
That feeling when you're Catholic.
Pika pika.
Pika pika. Live on Facebook.
Pika.
Pika pika.
Isn't Pika a disease?
Yes.
Okay. It's a sad disease, I'm assuming.
I think, isn't it the one where you like pick your skin?
Oh, Pika.
Or you eat
when
dirt.
You want to eat objects.
Yeah, you eat objects.
But I was thinking of Zika, which is when you get bit by a mosquito and then your baby's head is tiny.
Or tiny, yes. Pika, I think, is fine.
Pika is fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's as comparative to something like Zika, which is quite sad. I think Pika is like an eating disorder that can be treated.
Do you know my greatest shame and one of my favorite fast food items is the pita pit salad?
No, I love that.
But I have...
If there was a pita pit around here...
Oh, you'd be there every day.
Yes. Because that's kind of my version of my favorite kind of weird, stupid fast food thing. Is like, it's not fast food really, but it's like a Subway veggie sandwich.
Oh.
It's simply a salad on
so
bread.
good.
Like it's just vegetables and oil and vinegar.
Yeah, that's it.
On white bread.
It's so good.
Yeah.
No, I really fuck with a pita pit salad, but today I got...
pita pit?
Do you want to hear my pita pit salad that I got today? Okay, iceberg lettuce.
Obsessed.
Obviously.
Yes.
And then I got like a little bit of romaine and spinach, black olives, pineapple, mushrooms, onions, halloumi, double falafel. Halloumi, double falafel, chipotle, donair, honey mustard.
Oh my God.
Italian.
Okay, you're cooking.
No.
That sounds really good.
The way I tell you, this is the first time I've ever gotten the halloumi, but it was amazing. And cheddar cheese also. Yeah. So this is the first time I ever got the halloumi, but I used to have that salad, everything but the halloumi, like all the time in undergrad.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
That
sounds really, really good.
So that was huge.
Amazing.
I was very happy today to be eating that, watching the rest of Overcompensating while my Wi-Fi was going in and out.
I love that.
Hey.
Yay.
Okay, shall we continue?
Yes, it's just going to be because we have to talk a bit about the Nazis, so it's not going to be like super fun, whatever. But Helmuth James von Moltke, he founded the opposition group that opposed the Nazis in Germany. He also acted as a lawyer that helped Jewish business owners leave Germany while they still could.
Cool.
He, at a party, told Amy about Hitler's plans for genocide. She reports this back to Brazil and is like, do not join the Axis powers. Do not let Brazil anywhere near Nazi Germany. It's bad. Stops Brazil from joining the Axis powers.
Queen.
Yes. She meets Joe Jr. in 1939, falls in love with him, convinces him that eugenics is not cool.
Yeah, it's bad.
And he goes, Hitler bad, actually.
Hitler bad, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that Hitler good, but hot ladies say Hitler bad.
Beautiful women actually say Hitler bad.
Beautiful women say Hitler bad.
Guys, is it possible that Hitler is bad?
Beautiful women know like Hitler?
Did I ever tell you that one time on Judgments I played Hitler?
Yes.
And then I got a stomachache so bad I had to immediately go home? I had to go on again.
Karma.
It was Karma is my girlfriend. Karma is a god. Karma is a breeze in the hair on the weekend.
Karma's a relaxing thought.
Aren't you envious stuff for you? It's not. So the Nazis move to occupy Paris, and Amy has to immigrate to the States. She dates Joe Jr., and the family thinks she'll be a great political asset to him.
Cool.
Right? And she continues to be an anti-Nazi activist and passes information about U.S. affairs to the Brazilian government while she's there. And then Joe Jr. goes to the war and dies, which we're going to talk about now. So that's why they're not like together.
She's cool as fuck, though.
I love her. I want to talk about that because I was like, that's so interesting. I love a girl spy. And I want to talk more about girl spies because I really want more girl spy media. Every single spy thing is so for men, and I don't mind it, but I also want spy media for women because women are such good spies because you don't expect us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I know. I want like a movie also about like these women in World War II who just like killed Nazis.
Yeah.
That's so cool. The closest I feel like we got was kind of Inglourious Bastards.
There's one that Reese watched that I think is a French movie or something, and it's about...
Oh, the French would.
Yeah, they would. And fair enough, you know. And hey, fair.
But then, of course, there's going to be a 40-minute montage of, like,
I think, honestly...
knees touching or something because it's French.
I think that they literally have, like, one of the main characters who's, like, a 16-year-old boy have sex with, like, a 40-year-old woman, which is, like, this is French, by the way.
It's French.
It's not, yeah. We don't have time to talk about the fact that the French president was groomed as a child and the first lady is just his teacher. We don't have time to talk about that.
Sorry, this is brand new information for me. No.
You don't know that?
No, I'm not paying attention to
my God,
French
Blair.
president, Carley.
Okay. People obviously probably know a bit more about this than I do. I just know like the vibe of it.
No, I think you might know the most.
Emmanuel Macron, the president of France.
His name's Emmanuel Macron?
Yeah.
That's a French name generator name.
Bridget Macron is his wife.
My God.
I think, okay. When did they meet? When did?
No. It's like Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, they met when she was 39 and he was 15. And she was a teacher and he was a student and a classmate of her daughter.
No.
Bridget divorces her husband in January of 2006, and then in October of 2007, they get married. Wait, so the first lady of France, like, groomed the first man. They're married still.
That's crazy.
She's like 20 years older than him.
Hot.
And they're still together.
No, not hot, Blair. Not hot. Bad. Stop. See, that's the kind of shit. It's going to come back to haunt me when I run for mayor.
But, like, that's them.
Oh, my God. Terrifying.
Crazy. And the fact that we all have to just be like, that's normal. This is fine, I guess.
Has got it going on.
Literally.
She's all that I want.
Okay. Freaky. So Joe Jr. was jealous that his little brother was a war hero. JFK is a war hero, right? This sucks for me. Competition between the boys is really encouraged in all elements. There's a lot of like, why can't you be a war hero like Jack?
That's crazy.
Jack didn't let his IBS stop him from being a war hero, from towing his friend who was burned.
A war hero is kind of like what you get when you like don't die.
Yeah, that's like
when you
war
could die
hero
and
is
you don't.
consolation prize for having a bad thing happen to you and you just don't die. You know?
It's not good. You should try and avoid
being war hero.
Yes. Yeah, it's not good.
So in 1941, Joe Jr. leaves his final year at Harvard Law School and enrolls in the Navy. He becomes a bomber pilot, which is used to fight submarines. So they're bombing to get the submarines, right? As a pilot, I learned this because the first summer reading I ever had to do going into grade 6, we had so much World War II education in my middle school in America. Gonna miss that when they overhaul that, but there was so much like Holocaust awareness, that kind of thing.
Same.
Which I think is probably good. I mean, it's a real kind of shock if you don't learn about it really before, and then you're left and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. It's not great.
Not great, but like, you know, it's important to just kind of be aware.
Yeah, it's good to know things.
And one of the books was about a fighter pilot, and there's a singer basically like, there's X amount of missions you have to complete that's a part of your service, and once you complete those missions, then you're done. Because being a pilot, a fighter pilot or a bomber pilot is so dangerous that it's like, you do your 20, and then once you're done your 20, you go home. Yeah. You can keep going, but you don't have to. Like, it's that. So, as a bomber pilot, you have to complete 25 missions, okay? Joe completes his 25 missions, but because JFK... Sorry, my cheek is so itchy. But because JFK is a war hero and he wants to compete with him, he volunteers to continue doing missions. which is super awesome, by the way. That's totally intense. Normal. So he volunteers for Operation Aphrodite, in which planes are turned into flying bombs. The pilot flies in the flying bomb to get it to where it needs to basically go to explode, and then ejects themselves and parachutes away before it explodes. So when they're running the mission for the first time, he like pulls the little key from the grenade, whatever, but it detonates prematurely, killing him and one other soldier.
Oh my God.
So he dies on August 12th, 1944.
Oh my God.
So that's like where I'm leaving you today.
That's awful.
But this really, what is so interesting with the Kennedys in World War II is like this now just changes the outcome of Jack's life forever.
Yeah, this is a big, like, the roads diverge here in a huge way.
The making of JFK in a way, because also like, oh my God, there's nothing that people love more than like somebody who's running on kind of like a democratic, like he's like, I'm for the Democratic Party, but like I am a war hero.
Yes.
Everyone's like, oh fuck.
Oh my
like,
God.
Because really America, and I mean everybody. It's not just American thing. This is like a military industrial complex thing. Like we love a war hero.
Oh, absolutely.
And like you said, war hero is just somebody who didn't die after a really bad thing happened to them.
Yeah.
Like,
and did like a noble, brave thing. Like it's not discounting war heroes,
but it's a bad thing that happened to them, as opposed to this thing of like they wanted to do it.
Yes, for sure.
You know, like it's like no, they didn't like want to do it. It's just like they had to survive. Like the choice they made was to survive.
Yes,
you know. So it's like it's sad that that's like an asset, but it is. So you know, like all of a sudden, Joe Jr., the president, the guy who's going to be the president, dies. All of the attention is now on JFK because now he's the eldest and he's the war hero. So now this is the beginning of the making of JFK.
Wow.
Yes.
Tea.
I know. Okay. Shall we make this tragedy about us?
Let's do it.
Let's make this tragedy about us. This is the part of the podcast where we take the tragedy and we make it about us.
Wow. Ugh.
Blair.
Yes.
It's World War II. What are you doing?
I'm a nurse. Obviously a nurse. I'm a battlefield nurse. I'm sorry.
You really are giving battlefield
I wish I could say something different, but like it's like every like even just like going off of like every man in my family who was around for a world war was like in the World War. And like I don't know about the nurse of it all, but like I'm just like there's no way that I wasn't like
a nurse.
Like living in England.
You're doing the Red Cross.
Yeah, like I'm doing the Red Cross. I think I'd probably be doing like on the British side. Like I don't see myself I see myself living in England still.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cuz I think I just grew up with my grandfather, had a lot of war stories.
And you're like, that's where
that was the British Navy. Yeah. So I just always think like, well, it's gonna be British.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, no, I hate medical stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So it would traumatize me deeply.
But the soldiers would fall in love with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, they'd be like, wow, beauty.
I'd be like, ugh.
You're so fucking pissed. I'm like, not another one.
I'd be like, you're bleeding and gushing pus.
This is so gross, dude.
Kidding, but you're heroes anyway.
I hate this. You're heroes. Yuck.
But yeah, definitely on the field.
I love that.
Yeah, I wish I could be a spy, but no way.
I'm saying spy. I mean,
yeah,
I'm going to be a spy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to be. I don't think I could be a socialite spy because I'm not socialite level. I mean, I think now I could be. I feel like influencers actually kind of prime spy because you're hiding in plain sight. Yes. Like nobody would ever look at me and be like, that's a spy. They'd be like, she's she's giving so much random information out on her podcast. She can't possibly be a spy. But little did they know, I'm deep undercover.
And you know what I could really see you doing? And I feel like for some reason it makes sense is like hacking like phone lines. Using those like plug-in
thing, like, the switchboard.
Yeah, the switchboards.
Yes.
I don't know how that would play in, but I really see you on a switchboard like getting information.
Yes. And because you hear these like random stories about like kind of actresses in Hollywood at this time, like Marlene Dietrich.
Yes.
Or like I think Lucille Ball did a couple of like those things. Like there's people who are just like working for like intelligence agencies. Like they're not like James Bond spy.
Yes.
But they're like doing the kind of soft diplomacy, collecting information. I just really think I could do it really well.
100%.
You know, I think I could, you know, get in those places. There is just really something I will say, not to be like, I'm so small. I have to eat a strawberry with both hands. It's so heavy. But like, you do just seem so unassuming.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just something about being really short that people are like not threatened by you at all.
You can slip by unnoticed. I also could see you working in like an enemy tavern, like as a server or something.
Totally.
and kind of just like collecting information like from the conversations happening.
Yeah. I mean, also realistically, like I really feel with a deep pull that if I existed kind of in the past, I would either be like a bohemian, basically like lesbian writer, or I would be a typist. And why not both?
And why not both?
So I can feel like if it were in World War II times, it's like I'm typing up stuff.
Yes.
I'm typing up these intelligence documents. I'm listening in on the calls.
Yes.
I'm carrying the papers around.
I see that for you.
I would love to say like, oh, USO, but like there's simply no way.
No.
I do not have what it takes to make it in Hollywood in the past. I don't have what it takes now, but I definitely don't have it in the past when you had to get your molars removed to have like basically your buccal fat removed. Gross. So that's what I'd be doing.
Okay, I love that.
Guys, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, this was such an interesting episode, Carly. Thank you.
I thank you for letting me really crack into it.
Loved it. Yeah. And we'll see you next week with the sad episode.
Sorry, guys.
We got to do it.
Bye. Bye.